Ferrari is holding a serious meeting after the disaster in Miami. Red Bull is ready to protest against McLaren, and Carlos gets penalized for his last lap dive bomb. Let's get into the latest F1 news. The Miami Grand Prix was the backdrop for some heated moments between Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari as tensions ran high during the race. The saga unfolded with Hamilton expressing his frustrations, particularly towards his team communications. It all started with some critical team orders that put Ferrari in the spotlight. Ferrari had a mixed outing in Miami, ending with Hamilton finishing third in the sprint race after a clever tire strategy. However, overall, they struggled for pace against their rivals, with Charles Leclerc coming in 7th and Hamilton just behind in 8th. This disappointing performance ignited a storm of emotions as Hamilton battled on the track. Amidst the chaos, Hamilton's frustration peaked when his engineer, Riccardo Adami, chose the wrong moments to relay information. At one point, while in the heat of battle, Hamilton vented, "Stop talking to me while I'm freaking in battle, man! Jeesh, in the braking zone, you're talking to me!" This illustrates how vital split-second decisions are during a race, where communication can easily become a hindrance. The tension escalated as Hamilton, who began on hard tires and switched to mediums, found himself stuck behind Leclerc. The team's orders to hold position only fueled Hamilton's irritation as he felt he was losing precious time. "So you want me to just sit here behind Leclerc the whole race?" he asked. Frustrated, he continued to push for clarity and action from his team. Despite Adami's attempts to keep Hamilton informed, the situation didn't improve. When Ferrari instructed Hamilton to take advantage of Leclerc's DRS, he responded with, "Arg, you guys are... This is not good teamwork. That's all I'm gonna say." This clear dissatisfaction signals the strain in team dynamics, especially under race pressure. Hamilton pointed out a previous race in China where he had yielded to Leclerc due to a different strategy, arguing it should work both ways. Ultimately, the team ordered the swap, but by then, it was clear that their communication had already created a rift in teamwork and morale. Throughout the laps in Miami, it was a tough journey for Hamilton. Even after being allowed to pass Leclerc, he found himself facing the daunting task of catching Antonelli, who was nearly 5 seconds ahead. Hamilton's exasperation was evident when he expressed, "Well, now I've used all my tires." In the high-octane world of Formula One, races are often decided not just by speed, but by strategy, communication, and teamwork. The Miami GP was a stark reminder of how easily tempers can flare when things don't go as planned, especially for a driver of Hamilton's caliber who expects the best from his team. As fans, we can only watch and anticipate what comes next for Hamilton and Ferrari as they navigate this tumultuous season. With every race, the stakes grow higher, and so do the emotions in the fast-paced world of Formula One. The pursuit of victory continued for Lewis Hamilton as the race progressed. "Am I catching up or not?" he inquired, hoping for some clarity on his position. His engineer, Adami, promptly responded that Hamilton would need a 30.7 time to close the gap in the next 6 to 7 laps. Despite pressing on, Hamilton could feel the tension mounting as Charles Leclerc stayed right on his tail, both drivers racing towards Antonelli ahead. When Hamilton asked about the gap, Adami confirmed it was a tight 2.8 seconds. Frustration started to bubble for Leclerc, and Ferrari made the strategic decision to swap their drivers to maximize their chances. However, this move led to confusion as Ferrari informed Leclerc of the swap before relaying the message to Hamilton, ultimately resulting in an order that came just a lap too late for Hamilton to react smoothly. As Leclerc surged forward, Hamilton found himself under pressure from Carlos Sainz, pushing the limits of their duel on the track. With Sainz closing in, Hamilton shot back with a cheeky remark, querying whether he should just let Sainz pass too. The situation came to a head on the final lap, where Sainz attempted to overtake Hamilton. Their contact sent Hamilton into a spin, but he managed to regain control, crossing the finish line in 8th place. Despite his struggles, Hamilton's determination remained clear, and while his engineer praised his effort, Hamilton's silence hinted at his frustration as the season unfolds with intense rivalries and nail-biting races in Formula One. In an exciting twist in the Formula One world, McLaren is stirring the pot encouraging Red Bull to officially protest the legality of their MCL39 car. It all started with a fierce battle on the track featuring Red Bull's Max Verstappen and McLaren's Oscar Piastri, igniting discussions about what truly constitutes fair play in racing. McLaren Racing CEO Zak Brown is welcoming this challenge from Red Bull, but he's making it clear that there's a significant cost to consider. The backdrop to this drama is the belief by some at Red Bull that McLaren may have been employing illegal strategies to cool their tires, which could provide them a competitive edge. Brown cheekily hinted at these allegations during the Miami Grand Prix, making a playful jab with a water bottle labeled in a way that drew attention. It seems the rivalry is heating up. As the 2024 season unfolded, Red Bull had been the powerhouse of the Formula One ground effect era. However, McLaren broke this dominance, clinching the Constructors' Championship for the first time since 1998. Lando Norris put on an impressive performance, applying pressure to Verstappen, who ultimately secured his fourth consecutive Drivers' Championship. Yet, shadows loomed over McLaren's achievement. Rumors started to surface suggesting that Red Bull suspected McLaren of a controversial tactic, injecting a small amount of water into their tires for cooling, potentially enhancing performance. Despite investigations by the FIA and tire supplier Pirelli that found no conclusive evidence of such tampering, Red Bull's suspicions linger. The tire management of McLaren's MCL39 has been a core strength, and as they lead both F1 2025 championships, tensions rise. Reports indicate that Red Bull has even deployed thermal imaging cameras during races to scrutinize the MCL39 closely. This technology focuses on the tire cooling ducts while Norris and Piastri come into the pits. Allegedly, these cameras have spotted anomalies in the temperatures around the brake vents of McLaren's tires, marked by blue areas that seem out of place compared to their competitors. In response to the swirling controversy, Brown has issued a challenge. If Red Bull is truly convinced the MCL39 is operating outside the rules, they should be prepared to face the consequences. He proposes that if a team decides to pursue a protest with the FIA, there should be a financial risk involved to deter frivolous accusations. Adding a touch of humor to the intense atmosphere, Brown referenced this ongoing saga during the Miami Grand Prix, quipping as he sipped from a bottle labeled tire water. It's clear that the rivalry is not just about speed and precision on the track, but also about wit and strategy off it. As the Formula One season continues, the question remains, will Red Bull take the bait and act on their suspicions? The stakes are high, and the racing world is watching closely as this story develops. In a controversial statement, Brown emphasized the need for meaningful financial stakes when it comes to lodging complaints with the FIA. He suggested that if a team decides to spend money on a protest, it should reflect a serious commitment, noting, "I'd spend £25,000 on my race car all day long." Though, this raises an important point. Should teams face the consequences of their actions in a way that impacts their performance? The budget cap has become a crucial element in F1, where every dollar counts. As Brown illustrated, teams are already operating close to that limit, making each expenditure a critical decision. He highlighted the significance of protests, proposing a fee system that could deter frivolous claims. "I think that would significantly stop the bogus allegations which come from some teams in the sport," he argued. Looking ahead to the 2025 season, the landscape of Formula One is poised for change. Head-to-head race and qualifying statistics between teammates will play a vital role in assessing performance. As teams focus on maximizing their budgets, the stakes are only getting higher. In this thrilling environment where every decision counts, the impact of protests on races and on the teams involved could reshape the future of F1. As fans, we look forward to witnessing how these developments unfold, shaping the sport we love. Join us as we continue to explore the details and drama of the upcoming season, powered by passion, precision, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest in F1. In a thrilling twist at the Miami Grand Prix, Mercedes' George Russell found himself at the center of controversy following a protest from Red Bull. After an intense battle, Russell clinched what appeared to be a hard-fought podium finish. However, the celebration was short-lived as Red Bull claimed he didn't adhere to yellow flag regulations while navigating a crucial moment in the race. Red Bull alleged that Russell failed to slow down sufficiently when a Haas car, driven by Oliver Biermann, came to a halt, prompting the second of 3 virtual safety car periods during the race. This was a vital incident, leading to Russell's pit stop, where he switched to medium tires, allowing him to re-enter the track ahead of Verstappen, snagging P3. The tension escalated when Verstappen raised concerns over the radio, questioning whether Russell had indeed slowed enough under the yellow flags. Despite the pressure, Russell maintained his position, crossing the finish line to secure 3rd place. However, Red Bull officially lodged a protest against the result, invoking a specific rule from the International Sporting Code about double-waved yellow flags. This rule demands that drivers significantly reduce speed and be prepared to stop or change direction when presented with such flags. After a thorough review, the FIA ultimately ruled in favor of Russell, declaring Red Bull's protest as not founded. Following discussions with both teams, it became evident that while Russell did lift off the throttle when the yellow flag was displayed, Red Bull contended that this wasn't enough to meet the safety requirements of the race. The ruling confirmed that Russell acted within the regulations, allowing him to retain his hard-earned podium spot. The decision has sparked discussions across the Formula One community and raising questions about the clarity of rules concerning yellow flags and the competitive tactics teams employ during races. With such high stakes in play, every call made by drivers is under scrutiny, and this incident exemplifies the intense rivalries and strategic maneuverings essential to Formula One racing. As the season progresses, the implications of this ruling could sway the competitive dynamics between teams and drivers, making it all the more exciting for fans watching the championship unfold. Keep an eye on how these developments shape future races as we inch closer to crucial moments in the standings. In the heat of competition, the interpretation of racing regulations can spark lively debates. Recently, Red Bull contended that discernibly reduced speed meant drivers should enter the yellow flag zone at a speed lower than what they had before entering. They cited Verstappen's actions while following Russell as an example of this interpretation. On the other hand, Mercedes threw down the gauntlet, arguing that lifting the throttle significantly through a yellow flag zone is common practice and accepted by all teams, including the FIA. According to them, George Russell's reaction adhered to the necessary regulations. Russell himself confirmed he noticed the yellow flag and indeed eased off the throttle as a compliant measure. What's interesting is that Mercedes declared Russell's liftoff to be more pronounced than what other cars showed. This claim was validated by the stewards, who ultimately sided with Mercedes, dismissing the protest against Russell's actions. The stewards stated that onboard footage and telemetry clearly showed Russell's throttle lift of approximately 25%, resulting in a torque reduction of about 30%. They emphasized that while Car 63's speed in the yellow flag zone was significantly lower than the usual racing speed, its absolute speed slightly increased. Furthermore, the stewards clarified the nuances of Article 26.1a, explaining that a reduction in speed should be relative to regular racing speed rather than focusing solely on absolute speed. They concluded that a reduction of relative speed signifies a driver's acknowledgement and respect for the yellow flag, a critical factor for ensuring safety on the track. This ruling offers a fascinating glimpse into how regulations are interpreted in Formula One, showcasing the tension between teams and the intricate decisions stewards must make to maintain fair competition. Carlos Sainz has recently faced scrutiny following the Miami Grand Prix, where he managed to capture 2 points but also found himself in a tight spot with the FIA. The events that unfolded are captivating, showcasing the intense pressures that come with racing at this level. As the race concluded, Sainz crossed the line in 9th position, a commendable feat after a challenging start to his Williams career. However, his joy was overshadowed when he was summoned by the stewards for a significant incident during the race. This happened on the last lap when he collided with 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. In the high-stakes environment of Formula One, every position counts, especially against a rival like Hamilton. Having battled for position throughout the race, Sainz attempted an ambitious overtake into turn 17. Unfortunately, this move did not go as planned. Instead of a clean pass, Sainz made contact with Hamilton, raising immediate concerns about his weekend performance. The stewards called both drivers in for discussions regarding this incident. Ultimately, they determined that both Sainz and Hamilton played crucial roles in the collision. Neither was deemed predominantly at fault. The ruling highlighted that Sainz's maneuver wasn't executed from a sufficiently advantageous position, while Hamilton had turned into the corner earlier than usual, leading to the contact. Thus, no penalties were imposed, allowing Sainz to keep the points he earned. However, Sainz's day wasn't over yet, as he found himself back in the steward's office shortly after. This time, the issue at hand was a failure to slow down for a waved yellow flag, another rule violation that could have further jeopardized his standing. These incidents are part of a broader conversation regarding the FIA's penalty system, as drivers accumulate points that can lead to race bans if they reach a certain threshold. Both Sainz and other competitors are closely monitoring their actions on the track, keeping in mind the looming consequences of penalties in the highly competitive arena of Formula One. In summary, while Carlos Sainz avoided immediate penalties from his collision with Hamilton, the incidents in Miami serve as a reminder of the razor-thin margins that dictate success and failure in Formula One. As the season progresses, all eyes will be on drivers like Sainz as they navigate the thrilling yet perilous journey of the racing world. In a recent ruling, Carlos Sainz received a warning from the stewards due to a yellow flag incident during the race. The stewards took into consideration that Sainz did not see the yellow flag, nor was there a light panel to provide an additional warning. It was confirmed in the hearing that Sainz admitted to not slowing down for the yellow flag because he neither saw it nor the stopped car ahead. Telemetry data showed that he only lifted off the throttle after being informed by his team about the yellow flag, which was after he had already passed the affected area. Analyzing available footage revealed that the yellow flag was displayed from only one marshal post and within a notably quick section of the track, severely limiting its visibility. Compounding this issue, there was no light panel in place, resulting in neither the driver nor his team receiving any visual or audible alert. From the driver's perspective, the car responsible for the yellow flag was obscured, further complicating the situation. Given these unique circumstances, the stewards deemed it appropriate to issue only a warning rather than a harsher penalty. In related news, Carlos Sainz has empathized with Lewis Hamilton's struggles in transitioning to Ferrari, noting the challenges drivers face in adapting to new teams. Sainz has openly discussed the hurdles he himself encountered while switching to Williams. He highlights that the F1 landscape continues to evolve with adjustments that drivers must make, assuring fans not to worry about future changes coming in F1. As we continue to witness thrilling developments in the racing world, it's clear that this season holds both challenges and surprises for drivers. Stay tuned for more updates as the competition heats up.